like the term, like an author, right? Which is good because you're making a connection to another way that you've seen that before. I'm going to give you a little hint or an example and see if you're able to figure it out. All of you are not authorized to drive yet, to drive a car yet. None of you are authorized to do it. You're also not authorized to run in the hallways here because I heard some people telling you, don't run in the hallways. You're not authorized to do that either. What do you think?
I think we're not allowed.
You got it, right? You're not allowed. You have to give permission to somebody to do something, right? So when you're not allowed to do something, you're not authorized. But if you are, you have permission to do it, right? What are some things that you are authorized to do? Be a kid? Yeah, absolutely. What else? What else are you permitted to do? Read books from the library, check books out from the library. Absolutely, right? You have permission to do that. Those are good examples. Absolutely. All right, we're going to try this again. I have another word. This one's a little bit trickier. I think we might have a lot more threes, which is fine, right? Armistice. That one's a tricky one to say, too. Will you say it with me? Armistice. Have we heard of that as we've been studying Korea yet? Anybody hear of it? Okay, give me your ones, twos, or threes. You can define it. I've seen or heard it. Or I don't know this word.
Of course you know.
I might have been a 3 on this one a few years ago teaching. Anybody want to take a guess? Do I have any 2s or 1s that might want to take a guess? Yeah, what do you think?
Like a strategy or something?
Okay, you're on the right track, right? Because you're thinking about maybe the first part of that word. It does sound kind of like a strategy, right? What that word means is it has to do with an agreeing to do something, right? So when a war is fought, sometimes it ends with an armistice, or like we agree to stop fighting, right? So an agreement by groups of people or a country at war to stop fighting. Does that mean that one side won and another side lost?
No.
Not necessarily, right? Sometimes we just agree, you know what, we've been fighting for too long and we're not coming to an agreement, and we've lost a lot of people, and you've lost a lot of people, and we've lost land, and you've lost land, and you just agree that we're going to have an armistice. This is from a newspaper from back during the Korean War when the nations agreed to have an armistice. That's actually from the Amarillo Daily News in Texas. And they signed an armistice, but it says Korean War now an uneasy truce. What does it mean when you have a truce? You agree to something. They have a truce, but yeah, it's uneasy. It's like we haven't settled anything, right? Are they still kind of uneasy today between North and South Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been going on a long time. That's from 1953. That's a long time ago, right? That's a long time ago. And they're still kind of uneasy, and that's what we'll read more about today too, all right? So what I want to do is I'm going to have you guys log into your Achieve 3000 now, but we're going to take a look at our before reading poll together and talk a little bit more about this. And I'm going to switch over to our student login too, so we can look at the same thing together. So once you get logged in, you should see that same picture that we just saw together, where you see U.S. soldiers go above and beyond. Let me give everybody a chance to get logged in. Get logged into Clever. One thing you want to make sure, remember, you want to be logged into your social studies class, okay? So if you aren't in social studies right now, it's okay. You just want to make sure when you get to that first menu, you pick your social studies class, because that's where this article will be. And if you already went past it, it's okay. There's a way that you can switch from your language arts to your social studies or from whatever class, okay? You got it? And if you know how to do that, show the people at your table if they are having a hard time finding it.
share, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna send one to make copies of the,
Okay. Perfect.
for those that don't have an iPad.
Okay, so what I'd like for you all to do, and this is one really important thing I want you guys to listen to with me for a minute. I'm going to be giving you some specific instructions. So I know that maybe sometimes you work on a lesson by yourself, right? And you work through the steps. Today, we're going to work on some things together, all right? I'm going to let you read on your own in a moment, but I want to do some steps together. The first one I want to do together is the before reading poll. We're going to take a look at it together, okay? And I'm on my before reading poll, so you can go ahead and click start if you haven't already done that. And I'm going to put the poll up here so you can see it nice and big, okay? The poll says, after the Korean War, an area called the Demilitarized Zone was established to create a buffer, right? So there's an area that's not really North Korea's and not really South Korea's, to have a land between them. And only pre-Korean War residents and their children can live in that area. They're the only ones that are allowed. So you can't move into it. The only people that can be there are ones that were already there prior to that war happening. What do you think about this statement? Do you agree with it or disagree with it? And this can just be in general. Do you think that people should be free to live where they like?
Yes.
Do you agree or disagree? Now, I put a couple of things up here that are some sentence frames for you. If you're having a hard time thinking about why you agree or disagree with that, you can take a look up here. So I might say something like, the reason I believe people should be free to live where they like is because, and then put that. Or I might say, I don't agree with people should be free to live where they like because. I want you to make sure you write at least one complete sentence for me. So make sure you explain whether you agree or disagree and why. Okay? And I'll leave that up there for you so if you need some ideas on how to respond. Can we stay on our before reading poll? You can hang on to those so that way you can use them for your class. Okay, about 30 more seconds. Just one really good sentence that explains to me why you agree or disagree. People should be free to live where they like. That's why. It's okay. If you're just, do you know what you think in your head when you're able to share? Yeah, once you submit it, it doesn't let you go back and edit it. Guys, make sure before you submit, make sure you know you have everything that you wanted to include, okay? Because once you submit it, it won't let you go back and edit it. Okay, about 10 more seconds. And if everyone can stay on there before reading poll, because I want to hear from a few of you about what you think about this. Let me go back to my screen where I have the same thing. So, what do you think? How many of you, just by show of hands, agree that people should be free to live where they like? Let me see, show of hands. Okay. About half, agree. How many of us agree? A little bit more than half, it looks like. Okay. Let me see over here. One of you, tell me why you agree people should be able to live where they live. Because we have freedom, okay? What do you guys think? Once you submit, the good news is if you want to change your mind, you'll be able to do it in the after reading poll. So you'll have to edit it there, okay? Why do you agree? You can read exactly what it is that you submitted if you'd like. We got shy a little bit. Who else agree? Why do you agree that you should be able to live where you like? Yeah, what do you think? Because you can be free. So we're thinking about this idea of freedom, okay? Who disagreed? How many of you disagreed? Raise your hands. Let me see a show of hands. Who else disagreed? Okay, let me hear over here. Why'd you disagree? Why'd you disagree? Remember, the best thing about this question is there's no right or wrong answer. It's just your opinion, right? Anybody else disagree? Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, what about like if it's private property sounds like
Good, excellent point. Yeah, so he's thinking if it's someone else's property, right? Like you have, let's say you have your house and someone just decides to come put a tent in your backyard. Would that be okay? But you guys just told me that people should be able to free to live wherever they want. But not in that situation. Interesting. Okay, well here's what's nice, right? You're gonna now read more about North and South Korea, and I want you to be thinking about this in terms of where they should be able to live or not live, okay? And if you change your mind after you've read more about it, you can answer that way in the after reading poll, all right? So this is just your opinion. You're going to learn more, and then you might change your mind, or you might keep the same opinion, right? That's up to you. You have that choice. You have that freedom to decide that, right? So what I'm going to have you do this time while you read, okay, we're going to take a look at our article. So go ahead and click on step 2, your article with me, all right? And how many of you have used the highlighting tool before, either in this class or in your language arts class? How many of you have used it in your language arts class?
It doesn't let me.
Doesn't let you on your iPad?
Oh, no, it doesn't let me highlight.
Okay, well, I'll come over and I can help you with it if we're having a problem. Now, what I'd like for you guys to do, I'm going to give you a couple of different pieces of instruction, okay, before we get started. While you read this article, I want you to be keeping a few things in mind, okay? I put a few questions up there that are going to help us find out more about North and South Korea. Why does this zone exist in the first place, right? Why does the demilitarized zone even exist? What restrictions, meaning what are the residents that live there authorized to do or not do? What does that word authorized mean?
not
Not allowed to do it.
Yeah, so, well, authorized means you are allowed.
Oh.
Not authorized means what? You're not allowed to do it, right? Why did they divide up North and South Korea? That's something else we want to know about, right? And how did the war begin? That's something else that you'll read about as well, all right? So I want you to focus on the key ideas. As you're reading, I want you to use your highlighting tool to gather that evidence that answers some of those questions, all right? What's the most important information? Now, when you're done, I'm going to be giving you guys a document that looks like this one.